Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And cue the media freak out. They're all freaking out because Bari Weiss is going to be in charge of CBS News. And now they're very concerned. They're very concerned that Paramount, that CBS is going to go alt-right.
Right, but from the woman who was on the left, yes.
From the Jewish lesbian on that was a left winger, yes. But it's not just that; it's also the Ellisons being in charge of Paramount. Now they're eyeing up Warner Brothers too, and basically they're mad that they're losing another outlet. And this is, of course, CBS that has gotten into it with Trump over 60 Minutes, and CBS that announced the cancellation of Colbert due to it hemorrhaging cash. Not because of, Colbert being critical of Trump. It's bleeding money. And
this headline is Paramount's Bari Weiss deal a Trump deal? We can't tell, and that's the problem. What?
Oh, here. Everyone should just quit. Paramount sparks outrage over $150 million deal to buy right-wing outlet.
But it isn't a right... They talk about hers?
Yeah.
Hers wasn't right-wing.
No, she's actually an old school liberal.
Yeah, that's just it. You guys, you spelled stupid wrong. It's just you guys. You keep saying this. I love this. They can identify as a cat, and you're supposed to accept it and give them a litter box. But if you tell them over and over again that somebody is, not what they label you as, but they keep labeling you that because it's easier for them to dismiss you, and you're like, that's not how I identify. They don't care. That's what you are because they said so. So you have to respect their identity, but they can say, oh, and you're alt-right Yahtzee or you're right-wing, whatever. And it's like, but I'm a Republican or I'm a Democrat. And they're like, you're a Republican because I said so. Happens to us all the time, too.
So The Independent. Oh, my God. I have to take a deep breath. All right. Polarizing journalist Bari Weiss to become CBS News editor-in-chief in wake of controversial Paramount merger report. Opponents say Weiss's anti-woke pro-Israel stance will be like dropping a grenade into the newsroom, written by Harry Cockburn.
Yes, sounds like he has quite the Cockburn going on.
Is this a real person? That's Harry Cockburn.
No, that guy on top, not the guy with
He looks like a Harry Cockburn, yeah. Yeah, maybe that's a joke. I don't know.
Listen, I just can't even. So basically, if you're anti-woke, that means you're alt-right. And if you're Jewish or pro-Israel, you're alt-right.
Yeah.
Even though two things can exist and not be connected or not be, they just keep doing this because it's easy to label everyone I disagree with is alt-right Yahtzee. So you can just dismiss them all, even if it's not true. But again, if I'm supposed to respect everything you identify as and all your flags and pronouns and all that shit, I identify as a tree fucker and all that, and you're supposed to accept it. But then look at
that's how the cock got burned.
People are doing it. Anyway.
Yeah. It's like rubbing two sticks together.
Yeah.
A dick and a stick together and you get a cock burn. There you go.
Anyway, there's another joke I'm not going to make, but you have to accept everybody's identity and there are 101 different identifiers and you're supposed to remember them at every time and use them correctly in every incident. But if they decide because you're anti-woke or you don't like something they like or you don't like a cartoon or whatever, that you're automatically, sleeping with Hitler next to Trump and all this other crap. And they can say that over and over again, even if you point out repeatedly it's not true. They can just say it because it doesn't matter if it's true or not. They're going to say it because that's what they decided.
Nobody
and that's
cares.
what I'm sick of.
Nobody cares anymore.
Why do people hate you? This is why.
Yeah, nobody cares anymore. That's the thing. Like, whatever. I mean, I guess at this point, people are like, well, you're going to call me a Nazi no matter what I do. So what the fuck?
Well, at that point, they're going to be like, fine, I'll just act like one,
All right. So we're going to talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
Go out to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com. Sign up for notifications, check out the paywalled content, yada, yada, yada. I don't think they're going to give us $150 million to come in and stir the pot, but that'd be nice.
Yeah, it would be, but
I'd just be like, you know what? Yeah, let's just quit. $150 million. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. Bye. There we go. There's our price. It's coming from Business Insider. Is Paramount's Bari Weiss deal a Trump deal? We can't tell, and that's the problem.
God, just cry me a river.
David Ellison keeps saying he's not interested in politics. The new Paramount.
That's a good stance. Good
Yep.
stance. Yes.
He keeps telling people, staff and regulators, but over the last year, as Ellison maneuvered to buy the company, and since he acquired it, Paramount has made a series of moves that sure make it look like he's interested in politics, and those politics look like they're on the right side of the spectrum.
Well, okay. But it's okay if a company bought it, made everything left. What I'm guessing is they're taking things back to center that have been far left, and you're having a hissy. Is that what's going on?
Yes.
Yeah, it's going back to center where it belongs, and you're just pissed because anything that's even a little bit right of the far, far, far left, out in space where you're at, you consider it as alt-right. It's ridiculous. Get a grip. Touch some grass.
Or
look up what these words mean.
Or fuck a tree, whatever. You do you, boo. Ellison has promised regulators, for instance, that his company won't engage in any kind of DEI practices that become standard issue in corporate America before the return of Trump.
And it was racist. It was racist. And I'll tell you why it was racist. DEI was backwards and racist because anytime anybody got a job anywhere, there are people that were hired that weren't qualified. Let's pull that Band-Aid off right away because that's true. But then people that were qualified, automatically they were just labeled as DEI hires, even if they were qualified, whether they be, black, white, whatever color. Well, can't be white, obviously, but like no matter what race they were, sexual orientation, whatever. It's because of that, not because they could do their job. So it was very much detrimental to people who legitimately deserve the jobs, who happen to be diverse because of this idiocy. So yeah, it's a good thing they're taking it away. And plus, they did hire a lot of people who didn't know what the fuck they were doing based on skin color or who you fucked or whatever, or what trees you slept with, whatever.
So
pine, soft, or wood, just FYI.
They were talking about how they were going to install somebody to oversee complaints about bias, and they're like, oh, and that person's more right-leaning too. And then the Colbert Show drama, and now that they've acquired the Free Press, the media startup founded by Bari Weiss, a former editor and writer at the New York Times, Weiss will now be editor-in-chief of CBS News, reporting directly to Ellison. Weiss's fans, there are plenty of them, will often describe her as a centrist who calls out excess on both sides.
Good.
She likes to describe herself that way too. But
fantastic. Sounds like a win.
Oh, but here we go. The Free Press isn't neutral. It was built as a counterweight to what Weiss describes as doctrinaire liberal groupthink in mainstream newsrooms, first at the New York Times, which she left in 2020, and now across establishment media more broadly.
Okay, wait, I'm confused. Where is this untrue? Because it is a groupthink. It is a designated group, liberal groupthink at most of these news organizations. It legitimately is. And if she's centrist, what's the problem? Because it's not on your side. For someone who's so upset and worried about bias, you sure as hell have a lot of it here, don't you?
In 2022, Elon Musk acquired Twitter and invited Weiss to root around in the company's internal files so she could produce stories critical of the previous management's woke regime.
Okay, but if they deserved it, then they deserved it. If they were being woke and they were being, shadow banning people and shit, then yeah.
It doesn't mean Ellison has turned Paramount into Fox News. They won't return a request for comment.
I wouldn't either. You're dipshit.
So I said a lot of observers, including Stephen Colbert, believe Colbert's show was canceled to appease Trump.
Colbert would believe that. But they said late night shows don't perform worth shit.
Yeah, that's just it. They said there's no smoking gun that has emerged to prove the claim, but they said still, I love that. Just still. Even if the day-to-day programming hasn't shifted, the signals matter. There's been chatter about whether Paramount overpaid by spending $150 million on the Free Press, especially as it's cutting staff elsewhere. Basically, they're laying people off that don't perform. They paid $150 million to bring her on because they think she can turn the newsroom around.
So Peter over here, if you boil this all down, what it comes down to is, Bari Weiss is considered centrist by pretty much everyone. And that's bad because we don't want bias to be on the right, but it's completely fine if bias is on the left. And since bias on the left isn't going to be allowed anymore, it's going to go back to center, which means we aren't going to be in control of everything. It's bad. And that's basically what I'm hearing.
So this is how they get you, right? This is how I think they get you. They're like, well, Ellison supported Democrats, but his father is an open Trump supporter.
So what? As people keep, disowning their families and stuff for not voting the same way as them. Just because your parents vote one way or think one way doesn't mean you have to. And most people, if you have Republican parents, they don't disown you for that. But if you're Democrat parent, you might.
So they're talking the Independent. This is Cockburn. He's talking about how she's trying to cancel pro-Palestinian voices. And they said if Weiss joins CBS, it will only formalize the role she already carved out as the Trump administration's de facto ally in its effort to silence progressive and pro-Palestinian voices.
My next thing is this. Why did she end up there? She was very on the left before, but she literally started her own thing because it was such a group think, what she referred to as liberal group think, doctrination bullshit. Yeah. So she left. You're mad because she left and went to center, and that's what you're pissed about. It's like, but they're not wrong. And the reason everybody's turning against you, and the reason people aren't watching these news stations, and the reason people aren't watching Stephen Colbert, and they aren't watching Jimmy Kimmel still and everything else, is because they're tired of it. They're tired of it. They just want things to go back to center, and they want to hear people have entertaining thoughts and watch entertainment. And they want to read actual news that isn't just, Cockburn here trying to spin it as one way. And then they're all clearly mad that the bias isn't on their side. It's bias, guys, but it was bias before. The difference is the bias isn't on your side. I think it just needs to go back to center.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just getting pissed.
So BlueSky is having a meltdown.
Oh, yeah, shocker. And it's a day that ends in Y.
Yeah. It took 20 years to go from Dan Rather to Bari Weiss. Journalist Marcy Wheeler posted on BlueSky.
Well, you're posting on BlueSky, so right away, your opinions, can be dismissed.
Bari Weiss, an opinion writer running CBS News, a real newsroom with real reporters covering real beats. Journalist Bill Gruskin posted on BlueSky. Everyone at CBS should quit and protest. This is a travesty. Journalist Walker Bragman posted on BlueSky.
Quit. If you're super far left pushing, agendas, and you want to hear an echo chamber and not the truth, by all means, quit. I would think people would prefer it if you would.
Bari Weiss is a misinformation peddling right-wing operative. She's unqualified for this job.
Because it only counts when you're a misinformation peddling left-wing operative. Then it's okay. Then you're qualified.
BlueSky most affected by this. Oh my God, is this whole article about BlueSky? Yeah, it's all BlueSky. It's all BlueSky.
There has been clear fucking bias for the last several years. Ridiculously obvious bias, right? And this is coming from somebody who's in the middle, who thinks, I just trying to look at this objectively. And there's been ridiculous misinformation and bias and stuff over there. Stories that should have been announced, like the laptop and all that, buried. And their answer is, how dare we, because she's biased. I'm like, you guys have been biased. Why do you think everybody went the other way at the election? They've said you all were shocked when Harris didn't win. Middle America knew that was going to happen, but you were all shocked because you had your heads so far up your own fucking asses. It's ridiculous. And then you're going on about bias.
The oligarchs are seizing all the legacy media to turn them into their propaganda organs, says Harvard cybersecurity law professor Alejandro Carabella on BlueSky.
Jane Fonda's husband, Turner never did anything like that for the left or anything, right?
Like Charlie Kirk, Bari Weiss shows that the only talent that really matters is the ability to extract large amounts of cash from right-wing billionaires and turn it into power. Journalist Dorian Linsky posted on BlueSky. If you can master that one weird trick, the sky's the limit. Well, what are you guys doing? Like being poor? Just get money from billionaires.
They literally have been biased and have not been telling the truth all this time. I mean, CNN, MSNBC, it's a running joke with everybody that they are just, they are so far off base most of the time and out of touch. And then these people are mad because they're trying to go back to center. And but again, there's a bias, but there's been a bias. Like I said, they're trying to buy the media. The oligarchy already owned the fucking media. You're just mad because it's not the voice you like. It's not the flavor of media you like. That's just it. Don't talk about bias when you yourself have been fine with bias for years. Kindly fuck your hypocrisy. And a tree.
A heartwarming story of how being an unethical and talentless hack is no barrier to success when you're willing to endlessly flatter the wretched views of rich dipshits. New York Times columnist, probably former co-worker, Jamel Bowie, posted on BlueSky.
Okay, and they work for the New York Times. Who owns the New York Times? I bet it's a rich person.
I'm sure it is.
But they vote the way they want. The thing is, that's just it. You all are owned by the same people that are rich. For people that you're going to get money from the rich people. You're doing the same thing. Gosh, I can't even. The fact that you can't even see what a hypocritical fucktard you are is enough to prove that you shouldn't be in the jobs you're in.
Yeah. Here's Mehdi Hassan. I've heard of him before. Saying people who complained about liberal bias at the main TV networks when they were never run by anyone as ideologically biased and polarizing as Bari Weiss. Bari Weiss is milk toast. Oh
it's they just don't want to hear it. Hold on, I'm looking at something up. Yeah, the family who owns the New York Times. I'm trying to see how much their net worth is, but they're rich people.
Of course.
They said the net worth of hold on, I'm trying to find it. It's not publicly available because it's held in trusts for the rich people. But you know, it's what they want to hear. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, it's just it. It's like, it's okay. Billionaires are great as long as they do what you want. They loved Elon Musk when he did what they wanted. They loved Jeff Bezos when he did what they wanted.
I want them to go back to center. That's all I want. And frankly, they'd be a lot more profitable if they did, because America, the majority of America, is tired of your bullshit. And if y'all want to quit, that's not a bad thing. If you're a person that's so pickled that you're going to quit your job because someone that's coming in is going to try to make it more centrist, and you're mad because it's not your bias, then you quit and go to someplace else that is your bias, so they can actually hire people that want to do the job and do it right. By all means, that's a win. Please fucking leave.
So here are some of the comments on this article. Let's see. I love all these comments. It's funny how the left has been controlling the narrative in the news for decades. Now they seem to be afraid that the right might actually start to get a foothold in the news arena. I mean, even Murdoch's boys wanted to take Fox News in a different direction, meaning they wanted to go more left. In the end, we need more people that will do news and save the commentary. Maybe if we had more investigative journalists, we would have seen more on Epstein, the laptop, and the mental decline of Biden. Yeah, people are actually, most people are like, yeah, we need to balance things out a little bit.
That's what I'm saying. It needs to be balanced out. That's what I'm saying. And it's like the sheer idiocy of getting up there and saying that it's going to be biased now when it's been clearly biased. Why you're talking in your article basically admitting that it's been biased all these years. And then you literally writing this out as if it's like, that you're in the right. I can't even wrap my head around how out of touch and, tone deaf and stupid you have to be.
So it's going to be really interesting because, again, this is Paramount, and the Ellisons are reportedly looking at buying Warner Brothers too. I have to wonder if this is going to affect the entertainment too. Are we going to see less woke Star Trek? Are we going to see...
let's go. Can we just go back to having entertaining shows? I mean, Star Trek always had messaging in it. It just wasn't hey, did you get that? I'm going to beat you over the head with it until you're dead, until we kill the fandom. And it's just like, can we just go back to entertainment? Can we just not be politically pickled all the time? That sounds like a great idea.
That's what they're all afraid of.
Well, that's what everybody wants.
Yep.
So yes, please, by all means, go start your own thing. Leave, open the seat for somebody who wants to take it back to actual reporting, actual truth. Try to get it back to center. And look at things fairly. That's a win for everyone.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up.
Go get some cream for your cockburn.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.
For more pop culture news, views, and rants, go to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com.